crash landed. 2 confirmed survivors. Son, this is not training. This is a Class 1 quarantined planet. The threats we will be facing are real. Everything on this planet has evolved to kill humans. Every single decision we make will be life or death. But if we are going to survive this, you must realize that fear is not real.
I can't believe we don't have witnesses here for this, because this is the first time ever when you like a movie more than I do.
No, hang on. That can't be the first time ever.
Wait,
I refuse to believe... I mean, maybe in reviews, but I know I've liked movies more than
maybe
you.
in reviews, there have to... I don't think we've ever done a review like this before. Has everyone? Hold on. Mentally Rolodexing all of our reviews here.
I'm going... Because, what was... I'm trying to think. So we have... We're going to edit this out, but I need to know now. Did I like Life of Pi more than you?
No, because I gave it a B+ and you gave it a B.
Okay, we both liked Argo.
We both gave... Well, yeah. We both gave Argo pretty much the same.
The Oscar... It's true for the Oscar ones. I'll find one eventually.
Well, anyway, we're here to talk about After Earth. It's been in theaters for a couple of weeks, but we don't like to do reviews one at a time. We like to hit you with all of them at once, because I'm lazy. But I also have some theory that this probably gets us more hits.
Wait, did you like Seven Psychopaths as much as I did?
I think you like Seven Psychopaths more. I give it like an A-, and you probably gave it higher than that.
Yeah, genius.
Yeah.
We found one. Carry on.
There we go. Okay. But it's still not it's still like we both still liked it. There's never been like an argument of you liking a film I don't.
In a review.
In a review. So.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this movie's killing me. There's no oxygen. So
my leg is really in pain.
So After Earth is the latest film from Will Smith and Jaden Smith, and it is a science fiction film where Earth has become uninhabitable, so man has gone to space. And up in space, there are these aliens that have trained creatures to hunt man by the scent that they release off when they're afraid. And Will Smith is the baddest motherfucker who's ever lived in space because he is able of shutting down all fear within himself, a phenomenon known as ghosting. So...
Oh, that's so dumb. He's called Cypher Rage.
His name is Cypher Rage.
Cypher Rage.
Cypher Rage. That's my favorite metal band. Anywho.
We play mathcore.
But yeah. But his son, his son's good at certain parts of the test. He wants to be just like his dad. He can run really fast. I'm sure he does other things. But he cannot shut down fear like his dad can. And his mom basically tells the dad, hey, listen, your boy's trying hard. He needs a father. You take him on this dangerous mission with a killer alien off to unknown parts of space. And so he does. And the ship is hit by asteroids and crash lands on Earth. Which, I gotta say this right now, the movie's called After Earth. There was a guy in my screening who legitimately, when they said, son, do you know where we are? This is Earth. He went, oh.
Oh my god, that's
like he literally chose the movie just by walking up and going, hey, what's starting soon? Don't tell me the name of it. Just show me which theater. I'll buy a ticket.
There were only 3 dudes in my theater, all going alone. It's pretty great.
Every single one of them had their own movie review podcast, I bet. So
I assume.
I think that's where the majority of the money for this film came from. But yeah, so Will Smith ends up damaging his leg badly in the crash, and his son is
damaging his bones so badly.
His bones,
that he has to do something to his arteries.
He has to do
arterial shunt.
He has to do home front surgery on himself, cutting himself open, sticking in tubes. It is hardcore shit, baby. But Jaden, what's the son's name in this movie?
Kaita, also Kai. I don't know, something like that. It begins with a K.
Yeah, it's something like that. Jaden has to go to where the other part of the ship crashed so that he can get the beacon and send out a signal for a rescue team. And so basically it's, Jaden now on Earth, having to contend with monkeys and the environment, and also that killer alien I mentioned earlier in the film. And basically trying to show his dad that he can be a real man. He can be just as good a soldier as anyone. But yeah, this movie, I'll start off just by saying I didn't hate this movie as much as everybody else. Like, there are critics out there saying this may be the worst movie of all time. Go fuck yourself.
Did you see The Last Airbender?
This isn't even the worst M. Night Shyamalan or worst Will Smith movie, okay?
This may be in the top 4 M. Night Shyamalan movies.
No, let's not jump to conclusions.
Well,
But
that puts it above. That puts it below Signs and above Lady in the Water and The Happening. So
I'd put it below The Happening. But then again, he didn't write this one. He only directed it, so
He co-wrote.
He really did?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that. But anyway, the story is from Will Smith himself. But yeah, this movie, aside from the fact that nature is trying to kill them, it doesn't really seem like an M. Night Shyamalan film. But I
don't know. This is pretty M. Night Shyamalan. The entire film is someone was smart when they gave it to him, because they're like, all right, we have this film that's basically about being really emotionally inert. Which director can do emotionally inert?
That's true. There are no emotions in this film. It is, in fact, not only are there no emotions, it's about shutting down emotions.
Well, exactly. It actually works in M. Night Shyamalan's weakness in directing to the premise, which I actually think is pretty smart.
There's nothing inherently wrong about the story. The story is actually even a good idea, I'll say.
But the story, from a sheer writing perspective, is great in terms of how simple the premise is.
Yeah.
It's a really clear objective. Like, one character knows everything but can't do anything. One character knows nothing but has to do everything, and there's a monster. Done.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with this story, except for when it was written. The story breaks down as soon as work was put on it. So, yeah, there are the problems with this film. Let me just say, once again, I didn't hate this as much as everybody else did, but this to me was a movie all about, losing hope, and I don't mean the theme of the movie. I mean, it was like, oh, hey, Jaden Smith is actually acting good in this one scene. Maybe he actually is alright. No, he's not. Oh, I'm actually pretty tense during this moment. Maybe this is gonna be pretty... No. I had moments where I was cheering it on for a moment, and then, I never had that moment again throughout the film.
I had quite a few moments of tension. I thought some of, the way Shyamalan did some weird directing work with some POV shots was pretty good. I jumped during one of the dream sequences. There's
a legitimately good scare in here. Yeah.
I enjoyed it more than you. I thought Jaden Smith was not very good, but he was serviceable.
Let me ask you: was Jaden Smith doing an accent in this film?
Fuck if I know. They were all speaking a bit weird.
Yeah, I was trying to tell. Are they trying to speak weird? Because Will Smith stopped speaking in that way after 20 minutes of the movie, and Jaden Smith is still doing it. Which I honestly thought Jaden Smith had a speech impediment at the beginning of it.
They really fucked up how they opened this movie, because they open it with this really cool first 2 shots of wait, what the hell just happened of a hook, and then it's a Jaden Smith monologue, and I'm convinced that everyone they just lost everyone then and never got them back. Damn, puts you on the back foot, because it's just and then we left Earth and it was very bad, and I was very sad about this. And you're like, this is the
and we all got on long lines towards rocket ships.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest problems with this movie. It's that this is a movie that thinks it's smart. It thought everything out, but nothing holds together. It is, to me, kind of the laziest sense of the future. There's a moment in here. This is just a microcosm of it. This is just a small example. But there's a moment where it's a flashback of Will Smith talking to his daughter through a video phone or something. And she goes, look at what I got. It's a book. An actual book. it came from a museum. And I was like, first off, saying that a book is in a museum is one of the laziest ways to show you in the future. And secondly, are we just going to skim over the fact that you just said you stole from a museum?
No, she did say they let me keep it.
They said she met a guy who let her keep it. It's like, yeah, once again, are you hitting on the guy who owns the museum? Go back. The janitor said, here, take this. And it's like, you're holding stolen shit right now. But... yeah, once again, it's a movie that it is lazily trying to show that it's the future. There are like rules that they...
I was fine with that because I thought this is basically a 70s sci-fi B movie. It is going to use campy shorthand like, hey look, I bought a book, isn't that crazy? And also everything is trying to kill you. I thought a lot of it was actually aware of how ridiculously stupid it was.
I got a sense of arrogance from it. I got a sense of it thinking it's impressive when it wasn't.
I thought, I mean, my biggest problems with it were the ending. I didn't like the ending. I thought it was too... I mean, I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but...
I was laughing at the ending, if we're thinking of the same thing.
I mean, the end fight and how that's
yeah, I'm
solved.
thinking of the end fight, too. I was laughing at that. I was trying not to, but I was just seeing the image of little tiny Jane Smith suddenly going, well, now I'm hardcore. And just fighting this alien. I was laughing. I couldn't stop myself. I mean, you can't explain laughter sometimes, but yeah, it just...
I mean, I hope that was meant... I mean, I don't know, because there's a lot... The subtext with fear is a pretty good idea that they don't do enough with at all, and I can't tell where they landed. Like, are you pro shutting down all your emotions, or are you really anti it? Like, I hope
it's fairly pro, from what I can tell. I mean, they've got Will Smith looking directly at the people in the audience, like face forward, telling them that you can just shut down fear by controlling it.
But yeah, but that's also kind of a bad thing in the way that Will Smith totally is, at the beginning of the movie, doesn't care for his son, then as he starts going later on, is way more afraid for his son, and then becomes a bit more, like, a bit better as a person. I mean, I'm not saying it's great, but
yeah, but we never really see him afraid. Yeah, exactly. Will Smith is a charismatic guy. That's always been his greatest asset, is that he is charismatic. And he is totally shut down. He has no emotions at all, and has fallen asleep throughout half the thing. And yeah, we see him have flashbacks to think about his daughter who also died, which that's not a spoiler, that's part of the backstory of these two, that's revealed early on. Yeah. But yeah, we see him having flashbacks to her, but I mean, yeah, that's flashbacks to go, yes, I'm thinking about how my son is also in trouble. And we never really get a sense of, we get that he's concerned for his son. He does not want his son to die. We never see any emotions on him.
We do. There is one bit, like, the very last image, thing, and it's so restrained in a way that I want to give it more credit than I think it deserves. Because I think a lot of the reasons I like this are maybe unintentional. Like maybe they wanted there to be way more, emotion in it, and they just were shit at it. But it kind of worked in the film's favour to some extent. And I did think that hopefully they were going for the ending to be, and no, fear is dumb, fear is part of the human condition or whatever, let's get on with it. But that just was, it was so lacking in those ideas.
If that was their message, then everything in front of it was a failure. It's either that was a throwaway joke at the end, which, yeah, I kind of laughed at like it was a throwaway joke. I assume that's what it was. Or it was meant to be the real message, and it's like, wait a minute, why is the real message one line here at the end that completely goes against everything that just came before it?
It was all off, and my love of sci-fi and I think After Earth, the best way to describe it is a very difficult movie, but not in the traditional sense, more in that you have to be willing to accept a lot of shit and, like, objectively shit parts to get anything out of it. Like, a rational person would go, fuck this, I'm not using any more brain power on After Earth, I'm going home.
Well, no, I think that's the problem, is that I think that you do, I think the problem is that this movie didn't use any brain power on it.
No, I mean to get anything out of it, you have to think about it and, like, add in meaning where there probably wasn't any.
Yeah, like, you can't give a movie credit for having meaning that's not there.
I think it was so downplayed that, like, I got stuff out of it that no one else did, and I want there to be good sci-fi B movies, and this was closer than people are giving it credit for. It wasn't there, but it was closer than people gave it credit for.
I don't feel like this was going for B-movie. They were going... I mean, Will Smith is
There-
not
there's
a
no-
B-movie guy.
Yeah, maybe Will Smith wasn't, but there is no way you write, hey, this is After Earth, we have books. Also, there's a monster and we've got to get to the beacon. That is a B movie. That is a sci-fi B movie. That's what it is.
Like what? Like, what are some examples of, like, sci-fi B-movies that are like that?
Well, for example, this is not obviously a very different sci-fi B movie, but it's very similar to the Terminator in setup in Monster, Avoid Monster. And the Terminator is a very famous B movie, but it's fucking B movie. Just in that style. Rather, not lower budget or anything, just in the style of aware of the campiness and aware of the silliness. I didn't get the sense of arrogance from it. I thought they had toned that back. There was a
Well,
bit
then what
too
was the
much
sense of, what was the, I mean, yeah, there's the talk about the book, but I mean, I got that they were being serious about that. What are the other senses of being aware of their campiness?
Well, when he said everything on this earth is evolved to kill you, like, come on, there is no way a human being can say that and not be aware that is
You
very
are
serious.
giving them way more credit. That came as the most serious, honest thing. Like, no, here are the stakes.
But anyone, if you're making that movie, you can't wink. Because if you wink, it falls down, and they definitely don't wink.
They're not winking because they're not trying to wink. I mean, this is total honesty from what I can tell. Like, they were
You have to. It's really weird because it's definitely a stylistic thing that I'm into way more than anyone else, and to explain it it's hard, and it's more just like me throwing my hands up and go, "Hey, I liked it." That's really all I can. The only defense I can give. I'm not going to convince anyone else that After Earth is a long lost gem or anything, because it's not. I still only think it's 3 stars at fucking most. But I do think that they handled the tone of keeping having the really obviously campy shit and playing it straight enough for it to work, and just being like, yeah, this is what this is. I felt okay with it. What can I say?
I understand, but I mean, to me, I don't get any sense of campiness, because campiness also equals fun, and to me, yeah, when you have all emotions taken out, and this is some guy telling you straight on, no, lose all emotions, it doesn't feel like that. It feels, I mean, when everything is shot seriously, I don't get any sense of camp out of it.
Well, then you come to the weak link of the film, which is Jaden, and Jaden should be showing way more emotion because he's meant to be the emotional one. I get that he's trying to be emotionless to be like his dad, but he should be better. He is the weak link in terms of performances by a mile. And the script could have done with a little bit more humour, but aside from that, I thought it was fine, passable enough.
Well, one of my other problems with it is that the science fiction, I feel, is very weak in this film, too. I mean, they are constantly reminding you of, like, what the stakes are and how and what the science fiction elements of this film are. But the moment that you stop and actually, like, look at any of them for a second, it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean...
Like what? What doesn't make sense?
Well, for starters, they show Earth when they're all leaving, and it's a barren wasteland. And they say that Will Smith was one of the people that helped lead them into space. So that means that they have to be arriving back on Earth within, like, I don't know, 30 years,
No,
maybe?
I didn't get... I just thought they said that Will Smith was one of the people that started fighting back. I did not get him being on Earth. I never heard that. So
All right,
I missed that line, but...
All right, then. Next up, they say that he has these little oxygen vials, and the oxygen vials help him get more oxygen out of the air. It's like, okay, that makes sense because Earth was so ravaged that there isn't enough oxygen there. But Earth has never been greener. There would not be this wildlife there. There would not be these plants there.
I didn't think it was that there was oxygen there. I just thought it was that Earth is different to where they live now. They have adapted to their new environment. I thought that's what it was.
Well, how are they adapting to the environment in which they need more air, more oxygen?
Like I say, I was just like, oh, I just went with, okay, so he has to take this over 2 hours, those are the stakes, cool, got it, I'm there. I didn't think about that part any more than, sure, I guess that could totally fall down there, but I just went with it.
All right, well, also, they're saying that the Earth at night, it gets so incredibly cold. It's burning hot in the day, and then it's freezing at night. Yeah, exactly.
So dumb.
That's understandable in the desert, because there's no atmosphere. But in any place where there's plants, you do not see plants freezing over and forming icicles on them, and then in the middle of the day, oh, we're back to normal.
So stupid.
That's incredibly stupid. But yeah, it's like there's so many of those things that they keep reminding you of. It's you're going to freeze at night. You're not going to have enough oxygen, and then it's like there's nothing here would be surviving if it were not for all this oxygen. There's tons
hey, take a knee.
Yeah, or at the end, he has to shine this beacon up. He's standing in clear daylight, and he's like, well, the beacon can't get reception here. Maybe if I climb to the top of a volcano that's spewing so much ash into the air, it's blocking out the sun.
They did explain that with Technobabble. It was...
Yeah, with Technobabble. It's...
I didn't care about any of the surface level plot holes. I just went with, that's the stakes. That's what they have to do. Sure, that's an excuse for this kind of dumb story. I guess I went into it with completely different sets of expectations than what I wanted, because I will accept a lot of contrivances to get my weird sci-fi movies. I have way different priorities there, so I'll accept that. That's,
understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
And I am never going to defend fucking the Earth freezing over. Because then it comes to the point of the mindset I go in is anything that's good, I can say, yeah, that's good. That's good. I enjoyed it. And anything that's bad, I can go, yeah, it was fucking terrible. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
But there's how do you feel about the special effects in this film?
Oh, they're terrible.
There are moments where they're actually legitimately really good. Like, there's a moment where he's in a nest with some baby birds, and I was like, holy shit, that actually looks like a baby bird hopped up and bit him. But then there's, like, other moments where they're in front of a green screen, and it's a worse green screen than they use on Arrested Development. It's that bad.
Oh, man.
And it's, once again, it's more, and, oh god, just thinking back to that scene.
When he's walking along the ridge, he's like, oh, how long till I make it? And then you turn around, it's like he's on the edge of this giant cliff. You're like, how did you not see that, Jaden?
Oh shit, I'm not even thinking of that. I'm thinking of early in the film when they push up this veteran to him in a wheelchair. That's more complicated than the wheelchairs we have now, by the way.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Oh god, and yeah, that guy, you can see the like light outline around him as he's standing in front of the green screen. But oh man, I think we've said about as much as we can on
pretty
this.
Much.
And yeah, I'll give it 2 stars, even a high 2 stars, I'll say, because it does give me a couple of thrills every now and again. But, I mean, it did every now and again get me to go, oh, this part's interesting, and that was about all I got. But, yeah, so I'm giving 2 stars. It's definitely not nearly as bad as everybody thinks. The only reason I can think of anybody hating it this much is just because they think it's a big metaphor for Scientology, which, I mean, there's arguments to be made for that. But
we kind of had that argument about whether it was pro shutting down fear or anti shutting down fear, and my entire enjoyment of this film depends on it being anti, because if it's pro, then that makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Oh yeah, and I definitely feel that it was pro, but also I didn't know before this movie that was part of Scientology. Yeah. So yeah, it's only pro Scientology if you know what Scientology is, like that part of it.
I think that's just so ridiculous nonsense of Scientology stuff. Like, yeah, sure, maybe there's similarities. I don't think that's reaching so hard. It's so ridiculously done. Even the Church of Scientology were like, no, please disassociate us with the reputation of After Earth, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, I'd give it 3 stars because it's not amazing, but I got my sci-fi B-movie enjoyment enough. If it had a better ending, it might have been 4 and it might have been 1. But, still disappointing either way. But not the worst movie of all time. Come on, people.
Yeah, come on, people. This is coming from the guy who has seen the worst movies of all time.
Atlas Shrugged and Atlas Shrugged Part 2.
Atlas Shrugged Part 2, Shakma. Damn, what is it up with me and seeing bad movies involving baboons going insane? Seriously. This is a great subgenre.
Is that on your Netflix?
Shakma? Oh, yeah.
No, I meant, is it on your Netflix? You like bad movies starring baboons going insane.
How great would it be if that did pop up?
It'd be so good.
How great would it be if it turned out that there are like 9 other bad B-movies involving baboons going insane?
Do you know where we are?
No, sir.